I sold out to Middle Eastern clone brands, and here's why. It's gonna be a long yap session. I'm gonna address this one time only. To some extent, this person is correct. He used to be very critical of dupes, now they're all good. You're a liar. You can scroll all the way down to the bottom of my page. One of the first videos I ever posted that went viral, / within my first 2 weeks of creating content, was this. Wildcard. I've never been anti-dupe, ever. I have been speaking about dupes from the week I started creating content. I have always been and am still anti-nonsense. And I still stand on the claim of, I would say, 70% of stuff coming out of the Middle East still, to me, nonsense. I stand on that. You guys also need to know, I have 2 businesses. That's what I do full-time. I am not a full-time content creator like 99% of other people with a similar size platform as me. 2 businesses. I create content for fun on my free time. Sense for Sense is a series that I do, which is where all the dupes go into. And what that series is when brands want to be featured on my channel, they have to send me 4 to 10 fragrances at a time. I smell them in an unboxing. I put the ones I like to one side, the ones I don't like to another side. This basket of fragrances that has over 100 fragrances in it are all fragrances that I liked on camera and that I have to do a review on. My review process is like very, very strict. I don't just spray a fragrance, test it for a couple minutes on skin. My testing process takes an entire day. Now, I am receiving about 50 fragrances a week for Sense to Sense, okay? Typically, I end up liking about 20 out of those. Now, if I'm testing 2 fragrances a day, I'm only able to get through max 14 a week. That number's off here, okay? Because now I have 20 fragrances that I like that need to get tested, and then 30 fragrances that I don't like. And why I'm bringing that up, I don't have time. I don't have time, my audience doesn't have time to sit and watch me bash a fragrance. It does nothing for me but waste my life and waste my time to have found good ones that I like, that I think people would like, but then to spend days testing fragrances that I don't like. It doesn't make life sense to me to do that, okay? It wastes my time, it wastes my audience's time, and the brands that are sending me fragrances potentially could irk them enough to where they stop sending me those fragrances. Now what happens? Now I'm left in a situation to where I then have to start buying those dupes again for myself, which I'm not doing, which is why I started Sense for Sense, because it was becoming so expensive to buy these dupes to test them. So weekly, I'm adding to the backlog of good fragrances to review. I would then be absolutely foolish to start adding in ones that I don't like. I would never be able to catch up with both. My sole focus for the Sense for Sense stuff is finding, this is a perfect example, finding products like this for my audience. That's what Sense for Sense is about. And this is no shade on anybody. I'm gonna use Daniel Rene because he's a good friend of mine. Perfect example to use. Daniel eviscerates fragrances online. His audience love it. I love it. I think it's hilarious. And the videos go insanely viral for him. It's a part of Daniel's machine. I don't need to do that in my machine. Thankfully, because of my audience, I can sit behind the desk calmly and I can review a good fragrance. And on average, we get about 100,000 views. I don't have to dance on camera. I don't have to do any of that like sensationalized stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love watching all that content just like you guys. I'm just not doing it for myself. Personally, that's not what I want to do. It's not my personality. So yes, what this person is saying is, oh, we only see good stuff. We only see good stuff about dupes. Yes, you 100% do now, because I'm not wasting my life reviewing nonsense products. It does nothing for anybody, nothing. Now, if I was in a situation where I'm stuck under 5,000 views per video, potentially you might see me start going nuclear on fragrances because it's easy viral content. I don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. And again, that is no shade on any of those creators that do that. That's a part of their ecosystem with content. It works for them. I've never done that. I don't ever want to start doing that because it's just not me. I have blasted dupes before and they went viral. It's a very easy viral video for me. However, genuinely, I'm not wasting my time testing a fragrance I don't like for an entire day of my life to then sit here and record it, and then my viewer gets nothing out of that, but it's a bad fragrance. It's just a waste of time to me. There's plenty of people online who do that. Doesn't need to be me. I have a backlog of 100 good fragrances that I still need to get to. I'm not adding garbage to that backlog. The also main reason for this switch up is my audience. This is my demographic. My demographic is 18 to 24-year-olds. I could go two ways about this with my content stuff. When I'm asked hundreds, and you can search through any video, hundreds of times a day, Cal, I need a dupe for this. Cal, I need a dupe for this. I could go one way and say, hey, you're 15, I know you're in high school, and I know you only work 5 hours a week. Get your money up. Get your money up and buy the $600 Louis Vuitton. I could do that. A lot of people do that to these kids online. Or I could go about it the way which I'm currently doing, which is I've built a series that allows me to get showrooms sent to my house. I sift through all the nonsense and I find products like this and like this at no cost to myself. I then get to pass along that information to my audience who works 2 to 5 hours a week. They love God of Fire. They can't afford it because they would have to work a month for it as opposed to working 2 days, and they get something that smells almost identical. That's my main focus here, is helping the almost 500,000 people who follow me on a daily basis. Like I've said, I don't wear my dupes. I don't need to. I have all the originals, which I've purchased myself. But I would be remiss if I did not then use my platform and the connections that I now have to try and find the best alternative fragrances for my audience. The other reason is my education throughout this journey. I have no problem admitting that I was extremely, not prejudiced, but like I just didn't know anything about how Middle Eastern fragrances were created. Nothing. When I went to Dubai and learned the things I learned, it was fascinating to me. It was fascinating to see Quentin Biche at an Arabic fragrance booth stand. I was fascinated by it. I was like, what are you doing here? I was fascinated to learn that the same oil in this bottle comes from the same factory that produces things like Strong With You Intensely. That was fascinating for me. So a part of the switch up came from an education-based learning life event for me. Now, what type of person would I be to learn all of those things and then still then play dumb for the camera and pretend like, oh, we don't know who's making these products, it might not be safe for you. No, that made me a terrible person. But genuinely, moving forward, I don't care. I could not care less about, because people sent me the Reddit forum about like Tiger. There's a big theory as to how Tiger came about, and am I an industry plant? Nope. I was on a boat. The owner came to me. He said, what do you think of my dupe of it? I said, it's okay, but you could do some things to improve it. Within 24 hours, I licensed my name to him. They pushed the product back a month. I picked the next closest version. That's it. Short and sweet version of how Tiger came to market. And Tiger is a belter. This is now known as the dupe of the OG, and it is a belter. Now that it's been sold enough and it's been sold out a few times, I can like release those reins and like start to actually glaze it for how good it is. Look at the comments on this. It's sensational. But yes, I hope that explains to you guys the like behind the scenes process of how I go about things. I stand 10 toes down on every single review I've ever done about a dupe. I try and get it to the hour so that when you are spending your hard-earned money on these products, based on my video, you know exactly what to expect from that fragrance. I don't want you guys to ever be caught off guard, or I didn't tell you that it only worked for 5 hours, etc., etc. That's something I take a lot of pride in. But yes, long story short, technically you're not wrong. You only do see good dupe videos on my channel. Also, you typically only see good stuff in general, especially like when it's like PR. I never want to be the person ever who a company which has a team of people behind it. There's a whole line of hundreds of people who have been involved in the process of creating these fragrances, to then get it to my desk and then me like, I don't like it, it's trash. I'm not gonna be that person. I get bad fragrances sent to my house weekly. I just don't review them. I don't wanna be involved or part of the reason someone's product fails or doesn't do well. But if I'm not speaking on it and I'm not telling you guys it's a good deal, like that's my job done, because I'm not speaking about it. I'm not selling it to anybody. I don't think it's my duty in the world to go out and blast all the bad products as like a red flag warning to people. If I'm doing fragrance content and all you see is positive stuff, that's like a fair criticism. And like if your criticism or skepticism is like you sold out, knock yourself out. Couldn't care less anymore. I am strictly focused on finding stuff like this and like this for my audience. That is it.